Where were we, Akshay? Sorry. We are supposed to
We are
discuss
supposed to discuss the sort of strategy, like how to send the cold emails and all of that.
precisely. Okay, perfect. Hmm.
Also, I just happened to, get I told you, right, today, like I went for an in-person interview that I applied for sometime last week. It was
Okay,
actually, they said customer success engineer. It's a small bootstrap company in Bangalore. And
cool.
but I read the job description and I felt like it's account manager का role है.
ठीक है.
So I went in and it's an account management role. But I believe strongly that I am the candidate that that they are looking for. But I think because of it would involve a bit of travel to the client sites, right? Usually other
Okay,
cities and all of that, and we'll have to stay there. So
okay,
basically, they have a transportation app wherein companies can share the app with their employees, and employees can book the cab rides to the office.
okay. Hmm.
So there's another big player in that market, which we at Amazon are using. It's called Move in Sync. There
Yes.
is a smaller thing. I went through their app, and they're like I met basically the VP there. So
Hmm.
or the co-founder. So he was like really nice, and he gave the full detailed info on
Hmm.
what the job role is and everything. So sounds super exciting, but yeah, I believe because of situations on a personal level, right, where I won't be able to travel, leaving the
Okay.
family for quite some time. And their
Yeah.
idea is if you're onboarding new clients, so we need you to be there maybe 1 week, 2 weeks as well.
Hmm.
And
I
you'll have to
understand.
frequently go to client visits because you have to build that relationship and all of that.
Makes
But
sense. Yeah.
I felt like I got a good gist. I was able to grab. They had very brief, information on their LinkedIn post. But yeah, I thought that happened today. And I also wanted to see on the fly
Hmm.
when we're recording this, right? So I sent out an application yesterday for a customer success role. I really loved it. It's at
Okay.
a company called Springworks. Well found. I found it
Oh
on Well Found.
man, I know
Okay,
Springworks.
and I've been using Well
I
Found for
tried
like four
applying.
years now.
I tried applying at Springworks
Uh,
back
I really
back in
loved
my
it.
days.
Yeah, I went through the job
It's a
description.
great
It is
company. It's a great
exactly,
company.
yeah.
Yeah, in really
No,
short,
even
it's a
the
very
job
good company.
description, right? They're like, we'll take you through things and
Yes.
we'll get you up to speed quickly and we want you to be handling accounts. That is exactly what we're trying to do, right? And this is like customer success sort of tied in with that. So I
Ah,
applied. I want you to give me your critique on why they did not even accept it. I did not even get a call. They just viewed my message and my resume, and they did not accept it.
how do you know they viewed your,
Because
message?
On well found it shows right that whether it
It's a
has
well
been viewed
found.
or not.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh,
show me
it
what
shows
message you
not
sent out.
accepted. Yeah.
Can you show me what message you sent
So
out?
I'm
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Hmm.
I've sent a request. I believe you have to
Hmm.
accept it.
Hmm.
Okay. 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 1 second.
I did.
Okay. I'm sharing my screen.
Uh, yeah, Akshay. I mean, again,
So,
something that I was searching for through the entire message. Uh, what did you do? So I was searching for stuff like how many clients you onboarded, what kind of retention were you able to achieve, client retention, what kind of
mm,
um, how much. churn you reduced after you worked on these clients? uh, what's the average churn rate that you achieved? Customer success is all about that, right? Like, right, retaining clients, upselling the products. How much upsell did you how many products did you sell them via upselling them? Yeah. So all of that. So matrix is something that I could not find. If even if I would be a
Uh,
hiring manager, I would, I mean, this is boring stuff. Yeah. Uh,
uh,
Amazon taught you this, you and loved it here, all of this. Yeah. So it sounds great on a one-on-one face-to-face call for some time, not for like 30 minutes straight or something. So yeah, but for 5 minutes, it sounds good, 5-10 minutes. But when you're, applying, you have the attention span here is very small. Hardly 5 seconds you get, 2 to 5 seconds you get, um, depending on a recruiter, to catch their attention and make them want to read the other 90% of the message. So the first two lines should be um, something that strikes interest. I'm explaining you the basics of sales. Yeah. So the hook the
okay.
hook should be very important. So in the first line itself, you should mention something, some measurable KPI that you have achieved. I onboarded 35 clients in the span of this. That should be the first line. After that, you can break it down. Like, this is the churn I reduced. This, I mean, it should, again, I'm not asking you to lie, but it should not be, nobody's going to go and ask Amazon if this is the actual number that you achieved or not, right? So uh,
Hmm.
a ballpark data is something that you can, like, an assumption, you
Uh,
can
a
take, like,
realistic
six,
number
yeah,
should be
exactly, a
presented.
realistic number, but somewhere around something that you have achieved. Yeah. It should not be exact precise number, but again, it can be a rough number. So that gives like an
Hmm.
impression that you created this actual impact. And coming from someone like who created this kind of value, I believe that you would be a valuable person for my organization as a hiring manager. So that's the mentality, and that's the mentality that you should use and apply while you're drafting the message in the first place. Um,
But I have one question here.
yeah,
Let's
please
say
go
we
ahead.
do it that way, right? But
Mhm.
so it would ideally, whatever metrics you're able to quantify for the most part. See, my experience is obviously quite limited, coming to
Mm,
specific
mm.
numbers because most of my time was in operations and it did not involve like that much numbers, right, on a day-to-day
Yeah,
basis.
sure.
So that is one part of the reason. Now, let's say someone has more metrics to share, right? But wouldn't that again be like repeating what's already there in the resume, though? Because
Yes.
this is like a personal note you add along with the resume. So I think maybe I make the assumption that they'll anyway see the resume. If they want something that is different from the
No.
resume in this note.
Yeah, Akshay. I mean, that's where you're wrong now. I mean, the first thing that they
Hmm.
sees on well found is your message. And then if they are interested, then only they'll go ahead and open your resume to see the other stuff. So what you can do in, even if you're repeating the same thing, what you can do is, out of your resume, pick like top three best lines that is creating the most impact in your entire career, even if you have like 6-8 months of within the role. Pick out like one line,
Okay.
even if it's one line or two lines. And don't need to write like this long message. Just write two lines in bullet points, and then say, for i've you know I've mentioned more details in my resume, go ahead and check it out. So that'll be they'll be curious to
Hmm.
learn. So if yeah, yeah, if the hook is compelling, they'll go ahead and click the uh, resume. And if they want to click the resume, they have to accept the message to do that, as far as I know. So uh, yeah, that's something that you can play here. And it doesn't matter, like, if you have 6 months, 8 months of experiences, you will always have something that you created. Even if you work there for a month, you will still have some KPIs that you can display. So even for backend roles, I was working with, just a quick background. My first company, I worked with a BPO. I was working as a, on the back end. I was not even like working directly on support side. What I was doing is I was uh, evaluating the chats that the support guys take
Okay.
for the customers. So quality analyst, it was a backend role.
Yes, got it.
In that also, I mentioned KPIs in my resume, if you can. So you know even on LinkedIn, like I solved, even if that's not 100% true, I solved like 80 evaluations a day to bring down the overall campaigns performance by X% in 2 years or something.
Hmm.
Nobody is going to go out and measure, like, is this data correct, if if you're actually able to improve the
No,
metric
you
by
can't
that,
actually verify it.
that's not even possible, yeah. So
Yeah.
stuff like that. uh, yeah, I
Because
mean,
see, even
that's
if it's
basically the
true
job.
or even if it's a ballpark number, company is not going to, first of all, you're not going to contact the company. Even if you
Exactly.
do, the company is not going to share their confidential data
They
based on
won't.
what
They won't.
some
They
employee
won't.
told you.
Exactly. And that's just, that's not ethical. And even, I
Hmm.
mean, that's sales. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's not lying, but it's portraying things in a way that is more appealing to the end consumer.
Yes.
That's how sales work. That's how sales
No, definitely
works in
agreed.
the entire world. Yeah. So
I
yeah.
think a lot of people working in customer support are basic operations, right? Like what you did in the early days or what even I did,
Yeah. Yeah.
in my previous team. It's very difficult to state the nature of your work as is without, breaching the confidentiality. So you
Sure.
have to put it in a way wherein you have to sort
Exactly.
of portray it or twist, not necessarily twist the fact, but just present it very differently.
Present it
Because
differently. So
otherwise, there's
it's
no
not
way to
unethical.
put it across.
It's not unethical. A lot of people ask me that,
Uh,
Akshay, it's unethical to lie, and I won't lie and all of that. I'm not asking you to lie. It's like presenting the same stuff in a way that is more appealing, and that's where the non-technical guys that have not been involved in like customer facing roles like sales or something,
mhm.
they lack this ability to. They are very talented, super talented, but they don't know how to present it. If nobody will see your work, if nobody will, go ahead and peek into what you actually did, nobody will know what you actually did. So to do
And I
that, you
think
have to, yeah,
the
you
fact,
have to do that.
the fact is, nobody at the end of the day really cares about what is out there on the resume. Right? If
Yeah,
it
true.
was
That's
compelling
true.
enough for you to get an interview, the interview
Correct.
and how your behavior in the interview and what they could identify, the traits they could identify in that interview is all that matters.
Exactly. And
Because the
then,
interview I went to today, even they straight up said, see, ultimately, interview is all about gauging, right? You may have done
correct.
multiple things, your resume has a lot of information, and all that
For
is
sure.
fine. Ultimately, what is the purpose of the interview? To understand whether, you are someone who can be suitable for, the
For
kind
sure.
of clients we handle and all of that,
Absolutely.
right? So that is the main intent. And if, let's say,
Absolutely. And
account
then
management sort
after
of a
you
role,
crack the interview, sorry to interrupt. And then
hmm,
after you crack the interview, the real, you know, what will help you sustain in that role is putting in everything that you have in, proving that you didn't just bluff out of the blue uh, before interview and during
hmm.
the interview. So that is also equally important, and that will actually display if you are actually same talented as you portrayed or not. So again, yeah, you need to prove that in whenever you are hired actually. So if not, then it'll show up. I mean, that, yeah, this guy
Yeah,
knows how to
definitely.
sell
Within
himself.
like a month or two, they'll figure it out. It's not that hard
Exactly,
for any
they'll figure it
company.
out. Perfect. Actually, let's sorry to get diverted, but yeah, let's
Yeah.
come back to the
But I
point.
think this was a good segue into like,
Yes, for
I
sure.
think this, what I wrote was more appropriate, or I guess would have been apt more for a cover letter rather than this note then.
Yes. And nobody reads cover letters, to be very honest. Nobody reads
Okay.
cover letters. It's just that they ask for the cover letter just for the sake of it's because it's traditionally asked. Nobody reads that. It's
Uh,
bullshit.
cool then. Let's dive into today and
Sure.
understand. I just
Okay.
want insight on how to actually send out these messages. So I understood what I'm
Cool.
doing wrong. So I have to figure out
Exactly,
how
Akshay.
to correct it.
I will share. Let's not even, blur anything or literally nothing. You're following me on LinkedIn, right? I'm
Yeah.
uh, just a second before I share. I'll just take a moment to explain. So you already follow me on LinkedIn. I was recently laid off by my organization without notice. So I'm also searching for a job simultaneously. And I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing, what worked out for me. Right. So I recently, just yesterday, sent an email, a cold email, attached a few things. I would want you to build, then I would want you to exactly follow that same, step and procedure, basically. The framework is something that you have to follow, but then again, what's inside will differ. And, I sent it day before yesterday, and yesterday somebody replied me back with that calendar link, and the call was scheduled. So it's not
Nice.
something that I'm just bluffing. It actually works if you follow. So here is the exact template, the exact email. So 7th December,
Mm,
I sent it on
okay.
on a fucking Saturday. I mean, I was not even sure if somebody will read this on a Saturday. So just for this, just for a moment, just absorb this stuff. So the number one thing is
Mhm.
subject line. I picked a subject line that instantly is intriguing to someone who reads it. uh, Sold 740K in less than 8 months with Matt McGarry. So number one, KPI, an appealing KPI that instantly sparks an attention. Like this is the guy who sold $740,000 in less than 8 months. That's number one. Secondly, I mentioned Matt McGarry. He's a very
Uh,
well-known guy.
well-known
Uh,
name in the
yeah,
industry.
in the industry, and I'll tell you who these guys are and why they would know. So this is second. If you don't have something like this, you can just mention something like this. Yeah, and then
A number.
sales candidate from India. Um, just for the personalized touch because I'm super proud of being an Indian and applicants, and I mean these guys do not receive Indian applicants in their email inbox. So this will,
Mm.
I will stand out if I write this. They would be
Yeah,
they
sort
would
of
be curious
sparks
to learn.
curiosity.
Yeah, they'd be curious to learn. Yeah, an applicant from India who sold this much in less than 8 months. Let's just have a look, even if they don't consider this. So number one is this. Okay, now again some personalization. Namaste from India.
Personal touch, yeah.
Yeah, I worked with Matt McGarry. A referral, instant referral. Yeah, even if he has not referred me directly, I worked with Matt McGarry as a founding sales AE at Growletter. Okay, I was interested in the customer success role you're hiring for at Beehive. So Beehive is the
Behind.
company.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So uh, they know Matt McGarry very well. um, and I saw an opening just out of the blue day before yesterday, and I mean on December 7th, and I decided to apply. So
Okay.
the number one thing that I did before I talk about anything is, would you consider an applicant based out of India? Because that's my number one question for them. I don't know if they, if the answer is no, they would just click on the reply button and tell me that no. It doesn't make
Uh,
sense for them to
you don't
read
want
all
them
of.
to waste time
Exactly,
reading through an
exactly.
entire email without knowing the point,
Very, very,
what you
very,
want.
very important point, Akshay. The most important point. We don't, our job as an applicant is to save time for the hiring manager. If you are able
Mm.
to do that successfully, even if you are not selected, they would thank you.
They'll remember.
Not, yeah, they would thank you, like,
It
thank you
would
for
leave an
not.
impression for sure.
Exactly, it would leave an impression. So your job as an applicant is to do that. Okay. Um, okay. So, but I wrote this. If the answer is even 20% yes, here are few reasons I believe I would be a strong asset to the team. Okay. So then, yeah, then I, mention all my KPIs. Okay. Recently worked with Matt. I did this, uh, managed, and then I mentioned a few noteworthy clients, Cheshire T10 model. These are the clients I sold to. This is not exactly,
Awesome.
relevant to like, um, you know,
Their
customer
profile,
success
but
role.
it gives them
Yeah.
more
But
insight.
still, it gives them more insights. Perfect. Uh, yeah. Okay. So yeah. Um, then again, a few more KPIs. What do I do and all of that? PS, just a little fun project I tried building on Beehive about 4 years ago when the Beehive was, very new in the market. People barely knew about Beehive. Back then, I actually built a project on Beehive. So that's again a plus point. They know
Mm.
this would tell them that I actually know what Beehive is. And I actually know my way around on the Beehive app on the product. So this is actually true. Swired is something that I built on Beehive. I'm CCing Luke and Isidora as well to increase my chances in case you miss out on my email. So basically, I'm just being ruthlessly honest. That's exactly what I'm doing to increase my chances. And this would give them an impression that this guy is an honest guy. I'm not, you know, bluffing or doing
You're not
anything.
just saying stuff out of air.
Yeah, exactly. So
I mean,
it is to
you
increase my
actually are
chances.
serious, and
Perfect.
you're actually serious, and also like in terms of loyalty, or let's say
Correct.
hireability, when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
trust,
Yeah.
you're building
True.
trust basically in this.
Perfect. Precisely that. Attaching my updated resume, LinkedIn profile. Okay. Now the pitch. Can we connect over a quick call to discuss more? Hell, I'll share my secret chai recipe because I was having chai at that
Hmm.
exact moment. So yeah. Um and then, just 20 hours ago, we would love to chat. I'm flexible. And then, yeah,
And I think
I
time
would,
zones I've learned is very important once I started working with AWS because of the
yeah.
international
And then,
clients.
so here's the meeting. I have a meeting tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. IST
Awesome.
with
Hope it goes well.
Isidora. Thank you so much, Akshay. So yeah, this is exactly what I was trying to, you know, help you understand. That's number one. Okay.
Hmm.
In this email, I instantly got a response, even if I did not do stuff like I'm about to show you again. There's one more thing I'll, show you before the recording time gets over. Uh, अभी चालू किया है तो सब कुछ दिखाई देता हूँ. Okay. So there's one more application I sent out. I felt that this is, again suitable for me. So again, there's a different subject line because I didn't had
Hmm.
Matt as a referral. Founding A because they were hiring for founding A. Three actions I would take to nail the role. Why? Because in the job description, at the very end, and that's why it is very crucial to read the job description carefully. At the very end, he mentioned just one line. If you want to apply, share your introduction video mentioning three actions that you would take to nail this role. I'm sure 99% of the people would not even have read that. So I did that. So, here's the introduction video. I'm not attaching the introduction video at the very end. I'm attaching it first in the first line just to, spark interest and, catch their attention first.
And
And they
make it a
barely,
point that you read the entire thing
yeah,
from start to
exactly.
finish.
Exactly. And then, so, one key takeaway, Akshay, from here is to, if you are trying to showcase anything, Attach it in at the very first. If you are trying to ask anything, ask in the first line itself. Don't waste their time. So that's the key takeaway. If you
Mm,
straight come straight at the first line only, stuff like, hey Nick, I just wanted to ask if you can, would you be accepting applicants based out of India? That's the first line. If so, read the rest of the message. So stuff like that, yeah. So yeah, I'm attaching an introduction video, and then I also mentioned, like I worked with Matt, uh, and I sold the exact same stuff as they were trying to, hiring, as they are hiring an E to sell a product that's very similar to something that I have sold. Again, a perk of reading the entire job description and researching about them. What is it that they are hiring for? So I can also show you the job description for this. What's the company? I forgot. Yeah, okay.
NPC.
30 minutes to,
30 NPC, huh?
yeah, this one.
And also, I'm curious because I've never used LinkedIn Premium because Premium, like the name says, it always feels a bit too expensive to pay for Premium. But I
Of
think,
course it does.
now, uh, does having Premium unlock you more job listings that are not there for just the normal candidates?
No, 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 it does not.
The
It does
reason I
not.
asked this because the other day I could not, for the life of me, get the podcast job on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I did found a customer success manager
I'm
role
not
or
using a
a sales
premium
dev.
account, by the way.
You're not
I
using
don't have,
premium.
no, I don't have LinkedIn premium.
Okay, wait, scroll up on your profile. You have that premium logo though
I
on your
purchased
profile.
it like a year ago. My, previous to previous client purchased it for me.
Because on your profile, it has that on the,
Oh
yeah,
yes.
the
Yeah, I
gold.
think I think if once you purchase the premium, it stays for like a year or something, but I don't have the subscription active, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm not paying for anything. Yeah, that's fucking expensive. I would not do that. I don't have the
And
use
it
case.
costs like 4 grand a month.
Exactly. So yeah, again, coming back, we have, less time. So
Mm.
I'm just trying to show you the job description. So um, you know, they you can find it here. Something like rentless learner. Yeah, this one. He was one of the first hires working directly alongside 30 MPC founders to bring our club pass training product. Club pass training product. And when I, visit their website and open their website, there was a club pass. And very similar to that is something that I had sold in my previous role. This one.
Mm.
So cold calls to President's Club. This was the exact pass that I sold. I mean, very similar to this is something that I have sold.
Okay.
That's why I mentioned it here. So again, now I'm also attaching three key takeaways. I did not attach it in the introduction video. I just shot an introduction video less than 30 seconds or roughly 40 seconds or something, and asked them to, look at the Google document that I have attached. So, here's the Google document. Now, look at the effort that I have made. So, three key actions. What would I do? I would do these stuff for inbound leads. This is the template that I would follow. Now it redirects you to another document which I built specifically for this profile. And this is the exact demo strategy that I used as an AE. Yeah, I have been using as an AE for like 5 years. So
Mm. Okay.
I just wanted to show you that what kind of stuff. So, in a nutshell, Akshay, I'm applying to an AE role. What does an AE do? Presents demo and closes the deal. That's exactly what you need to showcase that you can do. How you do that? I drafted a demonstration strategy I would use as an AE to sell their product to the customers. That's exactly what I did in the document, and I attached the document here. If you are doing for an SDR role, what I would do is I'll just very quickly show you something before the time runs out. Um, Here's the Google Drive. Okay, here's my Google Drive. My Google Drive is 95% full. It's more than 95. And I have, endless documents here. Stuff like, outreach strategy. Okay, creable outreach strategy.
Mm.
This is the outreach strategy that I
Right.
built for the company I worked before Grow Letter. Yeah. So there the profile was an entry level sales role. Okay. So what I would need to do, I would need to perform email outreach. So what I did is I drafted an ICP based on my understanding there, what is their, ideal customer profile that I would be selling to, the industries that I would be selling to, the value proposition of their product, and the outreach goal and the email cadence I would use if I get hired as an sales development rep. So these are the emails that I would use. Okay. So what I'm trying to,
Mm.
share, Akshay, here is, whatever the job is, you actually perform the job and show the hiring manager that you are able to perform this job. And this is how you would perform if you are hired. Now, this is where most of the job seekers fail. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I will sit down with you. I'll, help you draft stuff, but it is you who will have to do it repeatedly.
I have
And
to
that's
bring in the
where
content and you'll help me refine it, ideally.
uh, we'll figure that
Not
out. But
refine it, like, hmm, basically,
yeah, yeah,
like how to
you'll have to put
actually
in the
put,
work. Exactly.
yeah,
So again, rest of the stuff is pretty similar. I haven't heard back from them uh, yet. If not, I would again follow up. So uh, one more, you know, um, what we can say mistake a lot of job seekers make is they just send out an application and forget about it. They don't follow up on that.
mm,
The hiring managers literally have thousands of applicants, and it is not possible for them to remember each and every application that they receive. So it is important for you to remind them gently that I have applied, would you mind taking a look, or something like that. Ideally what I would do is not attach everything in the first email. I would keep, so if I'm attaching one document in the first email, I would keep the introduction video for the, or vice versa. If I'm attaching the introduction video in the first email, I would keep the document for the second follow-up email, and then for the third follow-up email. So I'll ideally do two follow-ups and one breakup email before I can, stop bothering them a lot. So there's a
mm,
four email sequence that I follow to job hunt. This is hunting. Yeah. Okay. Lot of sharing, Akshay. So this is my idea of hunting down and closing a job. Okay. The recording might stop, but we will go on. Okay. So this is something that you will have to do. What I would want is for you, on your, based on your understanding, prepare some document. Okay. If you are applying to an SDR, I would want you to prepare like an, you know, email cadence based on your understanding, the subject line, the body, um, and then two other bodies, follow up emails. And then I would refine that. Yeah. After you,
mm.
show me that. That is something, that's the practice that we will follow so that, you know, I don't basically spoon feed you. That's, that's again a practice
Yeah,
for you.
that's not
Yeah,
how it works, anyways. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So that is
Then
something
you
that we will
should be
do.
getting the job and not me.
Yeah, again. So, what I want you to do, Akshay, from here is, pick out opportunities that you love on a weekly basis. keep picking out as you go. um, One opportunity a day or two opportunity if you can. I'm considering the time factor. If you're doing this full time, then you can do two, three, four opportunities in a day. But I understand the situation. So one or two is max.